What if a single line drawn on a map could turn neighbors into enemies and families into corpses? In 1947, as India gained its long-awaited independence from British rule, one decision, partition, triggered one of the bloodiest human tragedies of the 20th century. But why did freedom come drenched in rivers of blood? And why are these massacres still so little spoken of today? The British Raj was collapsing, and with it came the desperate need to decide the fate of millions. The solution? Divide the land into two nations, India and Pakistan. But this division was not neat. It was hasty, chaotic, and violent, splitting villages, families, and hearts in half overnight. The Radcliffe Line, drawn in less than 6 weeks by a man who had never even visited India before, sliced Punjab and Bengal in two. It wasn't just a line, it was a wound. And once cut open, it began to bleed uncontrollably. Communities that had lived side by side for centuries suddenly saw each other as threats. Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs, who had once shared markets, festivals, and traditions, were now consumed by fear and suspicion. Within days, mistrust erupted into murder. Trains meant to carry refugees to safety became moving coffins. Entire carriages arrived at their destinations filled only with corpses. Men, women, and children butchered along the way. Survivors recalled the stench of blood and silence of the dead, a horror etched forever in their memories. Perhaps the most haunting stories were of women. Tens of thousands were kidnapped, raped, and forced into marriages as revenge between communities. Many, consumed by despair, leapt into wells or set themselves on fire rather than be dishonored. Their cries have been swallowed by history's silence. Punjab and Bengal became burning fields. Villages were torched overnight, with screams echoing in the darkness. Streets turned into rivers of blood, and amidst the chaos, children wandered alone, searching for parents they would never find again. The violence wasn't just numbers. It was neighbors killing neighbors, friends betraying friends, and humanity abandoning itself. Even holy sites became battlegrounds, their sanctity shattered by vengeance. How could centuries of coexistence vanish in a matter of weeks? Nearly 15 million people were displaced, the largest forced migration in human history. Endless columns of refugees marched across the border, with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Many never made it. Starvation, disease, and exhaustion claimed lives before they even reached the safety they hoped for. Why don't we hear about these massacres as much as other tragedies of the 20th century? Was it shame, political convenience, or perhaps a collective refusal to relive the trauma? The partition is often remembered as a political event, but behind the politics lay millions of broken lives. The partition of 1947 is not just history, it is a warning. It shows how fragile peace can be, how quickly fear can turn to hate, and how easily neighbors can become enemies when leaders fail to protect humanity. Today, the scars of partition remain. Families still search for lost relatives. Survivors still carry nightmares of burning villages and silent trains. And yet, much of the world has forgotten. But we must not, because remembering the partition is not just about honoring the dead. It is about ensuring that such rivers of blood are never allowed to flow again. This was not just the birth of two nations. It was the death of countless innocents. The partition of India was not only a political division, it was a human catastrophe, one the world should never forget.